J.B. Beasley and Tracy Hallett, two high school seniors, headed out towards Headland, Alabama for J.B.'s birthday party on July 31st, 1999. To their grave misfortune, neither of the girls made it to the party or back to their homes safely, and the next day, their corpses were found in the trunk of their car. This is a story that left the local community of the girls confused beyond words for decades. A story with a twist that nobody predicted. Tracy Jean Hallett was born on March 3, 1982. After her father died when she was just a little girl, her mother remarried. Tracy grew up with two little brothers, who she was very protective over. J.B. Hilton Green Beasley was born July 31, 1981 in Troy, Alabama. She moved to Dothan with her mother in 1984 and had a happy life with her mother, stepfather, and four sisters. Unlike the shy and reserved Tracy, whose main focus was her schoolwork, J.B. was very outgoing and involved in dance, piano, and swimming. She even did some work as a model for several agencies, along with her sisters. The two girls met on their school's cheer team and instantly clicked with one another. They lived a happy, ordinary life together, unaware of their upcoming fate. On the night of July 31, 1999, just after 10 p.m., the girls set out for Headland in J.B.'s 1993 Mazda 929 for a birthday party. Less than 30 minutes into their journey, the girls found themselves lost and stopped at a nearby gas station near the intersection of routes 173 and 431 for directions. They called their friends on a payphone and then went back to driving, but took a series of wrong turns that landed the girls in Ozark, Alabama, roughly 24 miles northwest of Headland. Ozark is a cute little town of 15,000 people around southeast Alabama in the heart of Dale County. There, the girls realized that they were still at a loss for directions and stopped at a local store, where they called Tracy's mother from the store's payphone at 11:30 p.m. The girls explained how they ended up in Ozark and were planning to return home, forgetting all about the party. As the girls got ready to leave, a woman named Marilyn Merritt, along with her daughters, stopped at the nearby gas station for a soda. Tracy and J.B. asked the woman for help with directions, which she happily obliged to. Marilyn later described the girls as nice and polite, and explained how when they drove off, they turned to the right just as Marilyn had told them to do. She carried on, assuming Tracy and J.B. would make it home safely, but they never did. In the morning of August 1, 1999, Tracy's mother called the police and reported Tracy missing. Soon after beginning their investigation, the police found J.B.'s car parked on Herring Avenue in Ozark, Alabama. Strangulate, the gas tank was almost empty, despite the fact that it had just been refilled the day before, when the girls left for the party. The car was also muddy, even though Marilyn had stated that when she interacted with the girls, their car was very clean and tidy. Furthermore, the driver's side window was rolled partway down, despite the fact that the doors were locked. Most curious, there was no sign of forced entry into the car. Inside the vehicle were the girls' purses, cash, jewelry, and credit cards, as well as J.B.'s driver's license, all left untouched and unstolen. The only thing missing were J.B.'s car keys. The police noticed a palm print on the trunk lid of the car, which concerned them. They wondered if there were any potential clues inside, but struggled to open the trunk without the keys. After 6 grueling hours trying to open the trunk, the police finally discovered an interior latch and were able to access the trunk. To their horror, inside the trunk of the car were the corpses of both girls. Their bodies were fully clothed, but soiled from the waist down. Both girls had been shot to death in the head, J.B. in the right cheek and Tracy in the temple. The police confirmed that the girls were most likely killed inside the trunk. Although initially, investigators claimed there were no signs of rape or sexual assault. 2 months later, the state crime lab found traces of semen on J.B.'s bra, underwear, and skin. A reward was put out for anyone who could give police information that would help them locate the killer. 1 month after the bodies were found, an Ozark resident, Johnny William Barentine, age 28, walked into the police station and stated that he himself had witnessed the murder of Tracy and J.B. Johnny claimed he went out to buy milk for his son when saw the two girls murdered. However, his story was very inconsistent, and about 6 times during the police interrogation. Johnny first claimed he saw a black truck speeding away. He later claimed he saw a man get into a car with the teen girls and then watched as the man forced the girls out of the car. Johnny explained how there was a struggle, and the man shot them, before Johnny supposedly gave the man a ride home. Police were sure Johnny was lying and named him as the prime suspect. He was arrested and charged with murder. After being arrested, Johnny immediately switched up and stated he fabricated the whole story for the reward money. Johnny was held without bond and denied any involvement in the killings, saying he only went out to get milk for his son that night and saw nothing. His family stood by his innocence. So did his lawyer. Johnny's lawyer argued Johnny was intellectual handicapped and never finished school. Johnny was finally released after his DNA didn't match the DNA of the semen on JB's underwear. The police then went on to spend their time on 3 possible suspects. The most viable suspect was a man from Michigan, whose name has been kept from the public. The man was at a party near where the girls died and left town just 3 days after the murder. Furthermore, when questioned, he couldn't account for several hours of his time on July 31, 1999. However, he was ruled out as the killer through DNA testing. The second suspect was the driver of a small white pickup truck. This truck was seen by the gas station when the girls made their phone call, but never filled up on gas. Nothing. No connection between the truck was ever made to the girls, and the driver remains unknown. The final suspect, a man from Mississippi, had been arrested for drug possession in the past and left Ozark just 2 days after the murders. No information came out of this, and the police were left with no choice but to let him go. In March of 2000, a woman called police and said she heard screams and 2 gunshots near Highway 123 South. The same night Tracy and JB went missing. The woman claimed she was initially afraid to become involved in the case when police asked why she took so long to come forward. The police searched the area and discovered a 9mm bullet, the exact same type of bullet found buried in the girls' heads. However, the brand of the bullet did not match the brand of bullet shell casing on Tracy's body. The case went cold for years, and as no new information arose, people began to gossip about the incompetence of the police. That was until 2015, when Rena Crum, an Ozark police officer, came forward and accused a fellow officer of killing the girls and other police of covering the crime up. She alleged that the night the girls died, they were pulled over by Ozark police searching for whereabouts of some cassette tapes featuring evidence of corruption and cocaine dealing among the Ozark police. The interaction went south, resulting in the murder of the girls. Rena claimed to be threatened and harassed by multiple law enforcement working to cover up the murder: Gary Butch Whittington, Rex Tipton, and Eddie Henderson. She also accused the former police chief, Tony Spivey, of helping cover up the heinous murder. Rena did not name the officer who actually killed Tracy and JB. She was severely beaten to the brink of death with a baseball bat after making her accusations. It was speculated by journalists that the girls planned to use the tapes in a court case against the Ozark officers that was to happen just days after their murder. The police officers named all denied any involvement in Tracy and JB's murder. In 2016, the officers accused filed a lawsuit against Rena Crum and journalist for libel, slander, and defamation of character. The lawsuit was dismissed in 2018. The case remained cold for a couple more years, until March 2019, when investigators sent the semen DNA to the Virginia-based Parabon Nanolab. The lab made a connection to a suspect, a 45-year-old man named Coley McCraney. Coley was never a suspect until the lab results, but had a history of violence against women, as his ex-wife filed a complaint with the Air Force in 1994, claiming Coley assaulted her. At the time of the murder, Coley worked as a bishop at a local church. Coley claimed he did not know the girls at all, and the Ozark community was in total shock, baffled at the idea that Coley could have played any sort of part in such a brutal crime. In April of 2023, Coley was found guilty of capital murder and sentenced to 20 years in prison, where he remains today. This case is one that only becomes more confusing and convoluted with each piece of information revealed. Do you think Coley is the actual murderer? Do you believe Rena Crum is telling the truth? Let us know in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.